it's also an interesting thing walking in the cemetery, because I'm looking at these graves. Now, I've been walking in the cemetery for about 22 years, so I'm quite used to walking in the cemetery, and I'm always aware that I'm in a cemetery, but really it's like a park. People come and walk their dogs, there's joggers all around. It was a gorgeous day today, so it's like being in the park, but everywhere you look, there's dead people. And I also got Kwanzaa Bon Soeng going the whole time. So I'm just chanting. I got my beads, and this is how I often do my walks. I'm with my feet and my chanting and my voice inside is Kwanzaa Bon Soeng. So 4 steps is a full Kwanzaa Bon Soeng. Kwanzaa Bon Soeng. And I've got this going for an hour. And I'm looking around that I'm dying. I'm looking at the whole story of my life. And there's the beauty, and the doubt, and the wonder, and the death, and all of it is there. How do you be with it and not get swept away by it? Because denial doesn't work. I mean, the grave sites, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of graves that I'm walking by. So I have spent my life, early on in my spiritual practice, I was reading the teachings of Don Juan, and he talked about having death just over your left shoulder and using death as an advisor. And I first read that, I was probably 19 years old, and I took it very seriously. So I don't believe that death is actually up there, but I've remembered my whole life. And my father died when I was young, in my 30s, actually at 30. So I'm aware that it's there, and I use it. It's a very important part of my practice to remember this is going to end. And for me, it often leads me to, some people, they think I'm going to die, so it's like, well, what the fuck then? Why do anything? But for me, it's always a reminder to appreciate this moment. But it can also have a story around it, and how to stay focused and aware and not get lost in it. And I can't say I'm always successful, but that's the work, is to, as Julie quoted Sherry Hoover, I suppose, not to push it away, but also not to get sucked into it. And as Julie pointed out, that we have our practice to work with that, to sit with, to be with. It's not only when we're sitting, it's all the time in our lives. How to be with it and not get lost in it, but also not to deny it. It's, we say in Buddhism, the Buddha taught the middle way. So it's not this or it's not that. But it's very hard for us to find our balance. It's like balancing on the edge of a sword. So how do we hold our balance just now, just with this, and not denying anything? We chant Kwanzaa Bon Soeng to open our hearts, to touch in to the suffering in the world, ourselves and others. But then it's so easy to get swept away by that and lose our balance. So much of our practice is trying to keep that balance.